all the bans, pretty standard. The picks right now are a bit different, and I'm wondering if Leshrac is a 4 or maybe being played by D-Stones. Like, Leshrac is one of those heroes recently I've seen in just about every position but the 5.
Which makes sense why you would pick it up so early in the draft. I mean, it doesn't reveal a whole lot with what you want to do or where you're going to put him. It gives you a lot of flex area. However, Ogre, Magi, Centaur, you basically know where those ones are going to go. There was a short period of time where people were playing Centaur as position 4 and 5. I think Eternal Envy did that with Complexity for a little while. Pugna, though, you can basically... he's been played a little bit mid in North America, I think, but he can't be played as an offlane as well just because of his huge amount of movement speed that he has.
So I wonder if Slardar is going to be played in the offlane. Either way, Bane, Slardar, Leshrac, a lot of stun, a lot of setup. Definitely a lot there to help out. And with that early Pugna pick, at least a couple months ago, every time Pugna was picked, I thought Anti-Mage. Like, that's your answer. And it could be Leshrac mid, Slardar off lane, and Anti-Mage safe lane, but they go with the Kunkka. So now I would assume Slardar or Leshrac is falling into the 4 because I've been seeing Kunkka off lane nonstop in the Chinese region, and I also saw it in some of the open qualifiers recently.
Yeah, he has been played in that role a little bit more. He's been switched from like the hard carry that he used to be into more of a utility role. Like he doesn't go that insane, sometimes rapier, like multiple Datalises. I think, yeah, sometimes I was going to say Battlefield, then I realized I was just thinking of Ember Spirit. Apologies. But multiple Datalises and Shadow Blade and whatnot, just trying to one-shot teams. Thankfully, that's not a really thing in Dota anymore. They took that out, obviously, because it wasn't really any fun to get one hit at like 60 minutes into the game. He's a lot stronger in the mid game now, though, because how the cleave works is it does 165% damage, meaning earlier on when heroes don't have as much armor, it'll do more than it used to. But as the game progresses, everyone has 50 plus physical damage reduction, so it'll do less. So you want to hit that power peak around the mid game. If you're not able to do that, you want to switch to a utility role where you use like the hero's bulk and X marks the spot, which are unique tools that kind of limit the enemy positioning.
Here comes the
Definitely
OD. OD has been a last ban for a lot of teams, and I think it almost forces you to pick it here in the fourth pick.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the stronger heroes in the meta right now. I'm not sure if it's really worth picking up as a 4th pick at the moment, though, because it does give you a little bit of room to counter pick him or take something like Alina who's going to be able to harass and out CS him. If you can pick OD up against a melee hero, though, in the mid lane, you're in a really good place because you're denying so much CS that you'd otherwise be able to get. But I'm not sure about 4th pick.
Yeah, I think Vici's just been seeing him banned so often and might really want him here. But it moves the Pugna from what I had seen a lot mid. I've also seen it safely quite a bit. Could it be the 4 here and Ogre 5, or is that just too much of a push on the Pugna?
I'm not sure. Again, there's a lot of flexibility here. Obviously, the OD is going to be played mid, but Centaur, you might even see like a more utility-heavy draft, or they might try to go for an early end where they put Centaur in like the safe lane and make him the farmer, and then put Pugna as the position 3. They actually have a couple of options here. I'm not sure how uncommon that is for Chinese Dota, though.
And then they go for the troll. So Paparazzi or Eurus is the new name for Paparazzi. I think it was the god of war or something like that. I forget what Eurus actually stood for. Well, some of these Chinese names have deeper meanings that I just don't know about. But Troll picked up, and that should put Troll safe, OD mid. You'd have to assume that Centaur is the 3, right? Like, he's just so good in that position. Is it worth knocking him down to the 4? And now you're up against the sniper, but I kind of question that pick as well, because you can get on top of this sniper. He's not that hard to go after.
No, one of like Centaur's ultimate is one of the best tools of the game to get on top of a sniper, really position yourself in a team fight how you want to be. So picking him up at this point in the draft seems a little bit strange. It's not the worst thing in the world against a hero like an OD, just because you have that range that Astral Imprisonment isn't going to give you any harass. You're not going to be able to get up on top of him to use it. But like you said, they have the tools to get on top of this sniper. I'm not sure how I feel about it. You don't have a whole lot of save on your side either. The best thing that you have for save is the Nightmare, and that's not really what you're looking for in stopping them from getting on top of your sniper. You want something like a Disruption or an Oracle pick or something like that.
Yeah, this is a weird lineup from Sirius because it's also a one-position Slardar for Doodle. And HYM supporting with that Leshrac in the 4, Mad on the 5, Bane. Oh boy.
Yeah, do you see position 1 Slardar very often at all? I don't think I've seen it ever in a game that I've really been paying attention to.
I've really rarely, if ever, seen it in any region, really. I mean, I guess it could be good here. I don't know how good it's going to be, but I think there's a lot of trouble with this potential pick. So we'll have to see exactly what they're going to be able to do here. And Vici, let's go around the horn real quick. Eurus, Paparazzi, for those unfamiliar. Vici did not drop their one position in the whole shuffle. They went with Paparazzi, just changing his name. Ori's still mid on the OD. DY still on the team. He is that high fantasy point, 5-position support that Vici had throughout the year. Yang in the offlane, and PYW, the change from Fade. For you guys not remembering who PYW is, he played for the TI run of Team Serenity. And we'll see if he's able to keep up the ability here. Is ability the right word? Or well, hold on. Yang. Decrepified, trying to run from HYM, Doodle, as well as Mad. The chase is on. The kill is there, and that one-position Slardar using that early Slithering Crush to get a kill on a Yang.
Yeah, that's going to give him a little bit of an advantage earlier on. The last thing you want is the Slardar getting quicker boots to make it even easier to run down the Centaur. And again, one of the things that Slardar is better at is punishing melee heroes in whatever lane he's against. Just being able to take advantage of that bash. It does so much damage between hitting those creeps every once in a while, then going in once you have that bash primed onto the whatever melee hero you're playing against. So this guy has to be very careful if he gives Slardar a little bit of an advantage.
And we'll see how well Doodle can do, and I talked about it earlier in the draft, how well Doodle had played. Guevara now in trouble. Guevara, I'm trying to think where he came from. I believe Guevara had played for like Newbie Young at some point, but that could be completely wrong. He is your offlaner. I believe played for eHome for a little bit, and I don't know. Maybe it was the Typhoon Esports. Sorry, it was the Typhoon Esports that was made and composed of a little bit of the Newbie Young team, and that's where he has been stationed for a little bit. And now he's going to be playing here with Sirius. Meanwhile, mid D-Stone's doing a lot of damage to Ori early on. But, I mean, the same could be said for Ori towards D-Stones. They are really trading blows here.
Leshrac doing a little bit of a cheeky move here in the bottom lane at the same time.
Yeah, I've seen this quite a bit. You, like, you drag one wave, stay nearby, drag a second, continue to go with it, and sometimes even back up for a third.
I was playing a pub a little while ago, and 2 of my friends dragged the creep waves from various lanes into where I was as an axe, and I was farming 3 creep waves. But I don't think that's their strat here.
HYM gonna drag it all the way over.
Yeah, the solution to that was just pulling the camp in, farming neutral camp in wave at the same time.
It's always an interesting move. You don't see it too often, but what's the big benefit of dragging 1 or 2 or potentially even 3 creep waves over with you?
Just safely being able to farm them. When they're underneath the tower, you're not really able to dive or trash the... Oh.
Yeah, Mad dying over top. I caught it on camera. I just, didn't want to interrupt you. Because I'm more interested in why you're dragging 2 or 3 creep waves, because it just seems high risk sometimes.
Well, one of the better heroes at harassing people out of lane, despite being a melee hero, is the Ogre Magi, just because of his huge armor and HP regeneration. So it lets you safely farm a couple of CS and get the full EXP without having to deal with that Ogre Magi harass. So in that situation, he just says, okay, if I don't want to deal with the Ogre Magi, I can pull the wave safely under my tower. He's tanky, but he's not tanky enough to tank the tower.
So we'll see if at
Because
the
you
end
can't
of
really
the day.
contest with the amount of armor and HP regen the Ogre Magi has. It's like a Leshrac with your 43 base damage. They really neutered that guy after he became like way too powerful, like a year or two back.
And he's still pretty strong and pretty versatile. And what,
Yeah,
what
he
was what was the last hero you really saw be that versatile and that strong? Is hold on. Meanwhile, mid DY TP's over, looking to get D stones. They'll use the ignite. They're continuing to right click, but they won't go under the tower. DY, he rotated for this, and I think they really thought that they had a chance at an easy kill on D stones.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the main reasons they picked up the sniper at this point in the draft. Is he's one of the harder heroes for OD to kill, because you can see him walking up to you to cast an astral imprisonment. You can't set up the same way that you can with a lot of other or against a lot of other heroes when you're playing against a sniper. So that's why I think picking OD like 4th, you get to choose whatever hero you want to play against the OD at that point, and sniper is one of the better ones.
We didn't talk too much about what D-Stones can do on this sniper mid, and right now he's really harassing Ori, but coming around, DY has Bloodlust and Ignite. Not exactly a a hero-killing combo.
No, it's really good for harassing and moving around the lanes a little bit quicker than he'd normally be able to, but unfortunately there's no kill potential on the sniper with that unless he gets into the range of that OD's Astral Imprisonment, which he's going to be careful about.
Meanwhile, top, they've got the stack and pull coming in from Mad. Something I was told to do in the one game I did on the open qualifiers of this tournament, but failed to do so successfully, as that game went very downhill. Very quickly.
Really, what happened with that one?
Guevara. Meanwhile, bottom. Try to throw a torrent, but the body blocks were there from DY. They'll chase him, and they should be able to get the kill, and they'll leave it for Paparazzi, a.k.a. Eurus. What happened with that open qualifier game? A lot more than I can even explain. It was very typical NA Salt all over.
Right, so I was casting that one, I just wasn't in the comms with you, so...
I was getting ripped from second one in that game. It was really bad.
No love for B-Cop, unfortunately.
Yeah.
NA's last hope.
I wish I was that good. Ori getting pushed back once again, but that was because they're looking over for HYM, who will pop the salve and run from DY. And then throw a shot back, because why not?
Just using the movement speed to his advantage, Jukin jiving while holding that salve on himself. He's trying to throw a stun into the trees for some reason. Maybe he thought that he would hit the OD, but it would waste a mana, whatever.
Not the worst thing in the world, I guess. Taking a look over towards top, a lane we haven't really spoke about as Yang gets chased quite heavily, but PYW, Decrepify, and the Nether Blast to push back Doodle. We saw First Blood happen. Doodle got First Blood, and from there is now 27-5, but Centaur keeping up 29-3. So it hasn't been bad for either of them, despite giving up the First Blood. However, Doodle about a fourth of a level ahead.
Yeah, I mean, they've been utilizing this Pugna in the lane extremely well. If they put Centaur as like a frontliner in front of the Slardar, they'd be doing a lot more poorly than they are. Again, the Slardar doesn't even have boots, so there's no way he's going to be able to chase down the Centaur even with sprint. So I'm not sure how well they're utilizing the Slardar
Good
strengths.
dodge. That was really well done.
They just styled on them.
Yeah, seriously, Yang knew that stun was coming, like it was telegraphed. Very easily sidestepped it.
It looks a little bit silly to some of the viewers sometimes when you watch like these pro players fake out stuns and whatnot for a while, to the point where like they fake themselves out and they end up like stutter stepping so much that they end up dying anyways because they're trying to dodge a stun.
Ooh, they're gonna go for Yang again. Let's see if he can dodge another stun. It's a back and forth where HIM is trying to commit to it. They got the Nightmare, but DY comes over. Now a stun on HIM. They'll throw the Hoof Stomp out, and now with the double-edge kill off the Leshrac to Crepify to keep Yang safe, and Doodle moving back. They've also TP'd over the Sniper. It's a lot of rotations from Sirius for nothing to come out of it.
Yeah, I mean, that was just well played by VG, and then I guess the Sniper coming really didn't earn you anything, though. And again, the Pugna utilizing his hero super well, being able to throw those saves out onto the Centaur, because it's only physical damage from the Slardar. Really nice save there. I think that's one of the better heroes that you can play against the Slardar with these days, is the Pugna. I was kind of weirded out at first with the... Okay, they're diving them under the tower. Oh, never mind. I was kind of weirded out at first with throwing the Centaur up against the Slardar in lane because, like I was talking about, you get so harassed out with that Bash of the Deep, but they've been playing the lane pretty well.
Yeah, they only gave up that first blood, then they turned it around just a moment ago. Hoof Stomp stopped Doodle in his tracks. Meanwhile, if you switch it to the net worth, you can see how far ahead Paparazzi is. Like, he's in such a good spot at the moment. About 1,000 net worth ahead of Doodle.
He's getting everything he wants, and every time you have to rotate whatever other heroes with the Kunkka out of the lane, he just whacks away at the Kunkka. There's not much Kunkka can do to deal with it. And again, I was talking about that change with Tidebringer, the fact that it doesn't go through armor anymore. This guy's got a 53% physical resistance already, and most of Kunkka's harass in the lane is physical damage, so he can't do much against this troll. He's feeling only nerfs already.
God. What are they going to do about Eurus if he's going to continue to just have so much farm on this troll?
I guess all they can really hope to do is throw that Nightmare or Fiend's Grip out to him in the middle of the fights, or use the boat to stall. You do have a lot of breathing room with how they worked his ultimate around these days, but even if they decide to throw the Fiend's Grip onto him, we have the save in the form of the Astral Imprisonment, so they're getting exactly what they want with VG.
They combine again to look for Yang, but they're just not even coming close to killing the Centaur. At some point, I feel like they need to cut their losses and give up on trying to kill him. But meanwhile, bottom Assassinate thrown at Ori won't kill him, and now you've brought Sniper into a pretty bad situation. However, the stun hits from HYM onto Eurus. He's right next to Guevara, looking to land the Torrent, but finds a spot in between the Torrent and that little gap towards the top of the stairs to leave.
Yep, almost turns around and gets a kill, but he thinks better of it. He'd be going up into the fog, and he doesn't want to do that, so smart decision to turn around there. But you just rotated 3 heroes to try and get a counter gank onto that Troll Warlord, and all you did was drop all their health. I mean, this is playing exactly how VG wants it to play at the moment.
Yeah, this is why they're one of the top teams, if not the top team out of China. You know, this is definitely a tall order for your first game as a new roster for Team Sirius. And they're making it look like that. They're making it look so, not so easy, but easy enough where you could tell Vici's the better team. And meanwhile, top Doodle going down to the 3-man gank of DY, PYW, and Yang. And they'll also take the tower, so they get a 2-for-1 free special.
Yep, that's 3k up already, and that's exactly what they're going to continue to do at the moment, is take all these outer towers, and then after they manage to do that, just choke the enemies out and farm their jungle, farm their triangle over on the opposite side of the map, and force them to sit in the base until they get like a 20-30k gold lead. Unfortunately, Sirius has a very good lineup for defending high ground, but I imagine a team of VG's caliber isn't going to make a mistake like throwing the game and putting that rubber band effect into effect. Wordplay isn't my strong suit. That's yours.
I don't know. Sometimes my vocab feels very elementary. That's for sure. It's one of those things I could definitely get better at. It was one of the things that when I finally got a chance to meet Red Eye, he told me to get better at. He's like, if you want to get better at your wordplay, read a book.
Talk better, kid.
Yeah, it was a little bit of that. He's like, just pick up a book, dude. Like, he was telling us all, like, you'll up your vocab that way. I would like Red Eye to know I haven't picked up a book since. It's not that I didn't want to listen to his advice, but come on, who reads? Seriously.
Reading is dumb and for nerds, after all.
Seriously, come on.
Right, Sniper finally taking advantage of some of these jungle stacks. I mean, I say taking advantage of the jungle, but they've just nerfed it time and time again now. I mean, in 7.22H we're on now, right?
Yeah, we're getting into the letters.
We're getting pretty deep into the alphabet now. 7.22H, they nerfed jungle camps by another 5%, so even before...
Ooh, they've got the Fiend's Grip on Yang as well as the Assassinate. Southern Crush comes in, but the save from PYW, they just were scared to commit on that, and he's so close to dead. I'm surprised that Slardar doesn't at least attempt to go in and finish him off.
At this point, like, their VG is in their heads every time they pull a save or something like that, so they think they tricked themselves into thinking, okay, I can't go in on that. They've outplayed me, I give up already, which is, it can be good or bad. I mean, obviously, if you start thinking like that from the get-go, you're never going to win a game of Dota, but at some point, you need to realize, okay, how far can we go for a kill before we decide it's time to get back? After all, I think one of the things that Chinese teams are most famous for is like their patience and their ability to like come back from a losing game.
Yeah, that's where a lot of these games turn, and I know some people talk about it as just, oh, Chinese teams farm, Chinese teams this, but it's like, it's really trying to find the right spot to make your play on. Like, if you could sit back and conservatively farm, you're gonna take that opportunity to get that next item because you know you're behind.
Yeah, it's about knowing what the enemy team wants to do and what you want to do, and you figure out which one is better. And if you figure out the enemy team's is better, then you need to come up with a different strategy. And if you know that your farming is going to be stronger than the enemy team's farming, go ahead and farm. If they'll let you. And they're playing into your hands.
Bode coming out towards top. Again, they're going to go for Yang. This time they should have the damage. They've got the X, but the Decrepify again from PYW. Master of saving his team at the moment. Specifically Yang.
Yang. They actually lose Leshrak, who I think is trying to plant some wards down to that jungle. But just desperately trying to find an inch on the map, but they're everywhere on VG. These rotations are amazing.
Yeah, they're there the moment they're needed. They had PYW top, then I believe OD, who was showing in that top lane, TP'd bottom, and they helped to get the kill on the HYM. But they're looking towards mid with Shrek TP in. Assassinate comes through onto Ori, trying to make them chase. And coming around the back is DY and Paparazzi, who will find D-Stones. So he is definitely dead on this one. You're down to a 5v4 immediately. Blink Hoofstomp actually misses Doodle, but they will find Guevara, Nightmare. But the Sanity's Eclipse coming in from Guevara, or coming in from Ori to get the kill on a Guevara. That's a 2-for-0. Easy does it. Vici don't need to stretch too far.
No, exactly. They know exactly how far they can go. They get the sniper first. They force the enemy team to back off. They take the tower.
And they'll find.
Keep going
no.
Oh.
They might find one. No, wait. Really? With Sniper and Kunkka dead, they're just gonna back off from that potential kill. I'm surprised.
Well, they are pretty close to a shrine that's still up at the moment, and he's not one of the most easy targets to kill, unfortunately. So I think right now they're just focused on controlling as much of the map as they possibly can. So they're going to split up and farm for a little bit, but then they're just going to go for their next objective. Of course, they got to wait for a couple cooldowns before they can do that. Stampede is one of the key things that they need. I was talking about this in the drafting phase, and we saw it just when they got that sniper kill. Just Stampede, run right through the enemies, get on top of the sniper. You have no saves for him, we kill him. Rinse and repeat.
D-Stones was caught in a bad position in that previous engagement. They'll look for for anybody they can, as they won't be able to find PYW, I believe, who is over towards top. Guevara, D-Stones, and Mad, all coming up empty-handed.
Unfortunately, that's going to cost them a lot of time. While they're doing that, the entirety of VG is farming, and they actually pop a smoke. And they do that with impeccable timing. Stampede is now back up.
Oh, Blaine Cove Stomp. Double Edge coming in, and PYW and Eurus trying to kill HYM. One more shot from Yang to put him on a killing spree. Nightmare to stop the Ogre in his tracks as Mad runs away.
And of course, they don't need to pop the Stampede for a Leshrac kill. When they use that, they're looking for something on Sniper. So it gives them, they're probably just going to go out and push the lanes right after getting that kill.
Yeah, Stampede is almost exclusively for the Sniper, I feel.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to take the Sniper, it's like a 5th pick in the draft. You know they have a Centaur. You need something like the Oracle or Shadow Demon to get that save. If you don't have that, then you're just kind of letting them run at them. The hero doesn't have any escape tools on its own. It's extremely vulnerable to getting gone on.
We'll now have Sanity's Eclipse back up. Everything up now in terms of ultimates for Vici as they're ready to rumble once again, and they are putting pressure towards the top lane. And Sirius know this, like, if they go top, they're gonna die. They need to kind of hold back and, like we were talking about, farm conservatively and look for an item or two.
Yeah. I mean, their fallback is being able to defend the high ground, but they don't want to give up that much map control or they're not going to find that farm. So they need to play conservatively as possible until all those towers are taken. So minimize their deaths, understand that VG is going to get tons of kills right now, and just not engage them. So they're doing what they can at the moment, but VG is just playing the map so well, staying off, not letting them know where they are, but prediction plays from Sirius are also pretty nice.
Yeah, I will say 9 deaths in 20 minutes is definitely limiting the damage. They're down 6,000 net worth regardless. You know, the farm from Eurus has been really well done, and Vici's movements have been there, but this could be way worse. 20 minutes in against a team that's really starting to, you know, jump down your throats. You could be down 30 kills to 5. Like, this could easily be a 20,000 net worth lead at this point.
Yeah, at this point, yeah. But again, they're watching. I guess whenever they're off the map on VG, they're being super careful with their own positioning, sticking together and staying where they have vision.
And they're gonna lose Mad again and dominating now for Yang. Giving up these support deaths, though, not the worst thing in the world. Mad's already got his Tranquil, so his item for the game has been made in that 5 position. Although I'm still worried about this Slardar. He's saving up gold for a BKB, but first big item BKB, like, is that worth it? Is that going to be even enough? And then from there, it's a Blink Dagger, so it's a mobility item.
Yeah, I think he's extremely concerned about both the Decrepify and the actual imprisonment coming out from the enemy team. So if he's able to dodge those, great, but I'm not sure that he's going to be able to finish that Blink BKB before they're knocking on high ground. Maybe get the BKB, but that's about it.
Yeah, you'd really have to be gifted some heavy-duty time to get both these items.
And here comes VG taking out all these outer towers, so pretty soon after this they're going to establish wards all over the outside of the base and the Dire, and just choke them out for as long as possible. Like this, after you take that last mid tower, your jungles don't belong to you anymore.
Yeah, and that's where these net worth splits grow, is when you're stuck to your base, you're stuck to your stairs, and meanwhile, not only is the enemy team farming their jungle, they're farming your jungle, and they're farming everything that should be yours.
They might get a little bit of an opportunity with this Roche, though, because you don't have the worst team in the world for taking a fight in this Roche pit. If they can identify this, get an awesome boat off, and they might be able to take a fight and get some recovery. They have to be super careful about this one, though.
I'm just not certain it's going to come quickly enough.
No, they're in there. Leshrak isn't in position though. And I don't think he'll be in position by the time Roshan dies. They're not going to contest this.
Yeah, Blink. Ooh. Ori moving forward, and everybody else is kind of backing out. Just away from this Centaur Conqueror.
Yeah, I don't really see the point in that.
Oh, but here comes Yang. They find D-Stones. That's a lot of trouble. The boat will be thrown. He's trying to survive. The Sanity Scoop is going to be laid down. They'll get the kill on the D-Stones and look for more. HYM trying to run around. The BKB is going to be popped here by Ori, right-clicking and killing off HYM. They've got the root onto Guevara, trying to make an escape. Yang comes in, and the two-man Torrent, he survives with a little bit of health, but finally falls to PYW, and they might have even locked down a fourth on Doodle, who'll pop the BKB. There's the Slither and Crush buyback from Guevara, trying to find Eurus, but PYW doing his job once again, keeping alive his cores, and Sirius, can they even find one out of this? They've got the Aegis, they find PYW, but the TP out with the Decrepify, and, oh, assassinated. Just not making the escape. Blank Hoof Stomp from Yang. It's not over just yet. Ori comes in. BKB's going to be popped by Eurus. They got the Fiend's Grip. Doodle ends up dying. Dead for 48. The chase is on for Mad. 3 heroes surrounding him. Nightmare through onto Ori. And DY is the one who takes the aggressive approach as HYM and Guevara trying to make work of the rest of the team. But, oh, missing the stun out of Astral. That's where you could have potentially gotten a kill.
These saves from OD onto the Troll have just been amazing though. Every time an X mark the spot comes out, he's there ready to throw the Astral onto him. Actually managed to save him popping the BKB a little bit earlier with one of those. OD manages to find a kill. Where was that?
It was over in the jungle. He was continuing to chase Mad, who was running away from the team still. He had 72 stolen int from Arcane Orb as he killed that Bane.
Poor guy never stood a chance.
That is one of the higher numbers I've seen for that of all time.
I think I've seen a couple games where that's gone up to like 100. You tend not to see that high competitive games though, but in some pubs where the OD is absolutely dominating, you can see it stacked pretty high by the time he gets that level 25 talent.
So they're trying to defend this last outer tower, but it's become a bit of a train wreck for Sirius. A team that last year almost qualified for TI. At least in my eyes, I thought they had a chance. I don't know if that's exactly true that they were close in terms of games needed, but their roster before this season was pretty strong in my eyes.
Before the season started? I imagine they lost a couple players in the Chinese player swaps.
Well, they had ASD, who is really strong now. He's on some random roster, I believe. They also had In July, Sylar, Tian Ming, and HYM. Like, that's a solid crew, and now it's completely different.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I mean, some of these players get traded away, or the orgs will buy them out. The orgs will make a tiny profit from it, so.
Going Hoof Stomp onto 3 heroes. They'll also use the Stampede, maybe look to reinitiate as Sirius are trying to run away. The Rod of Atos comes out from PYW. They've locked up HYM. If you're going to lose somebody, it's better to be the support Leshrak, but they don't even lose that. The BKB is popped from D-Stones with no further movements forward from Vici.
They're going to suffer for that. I imagine Vici will try to punish that. They might think better of it. They're considering backing off right now, it looks like, but if I were them, I know that Sniper's buyback is on cooldown. I know that his BKB is on cooldown. I might try and take an initiation right now. The Stampede is also on cooldown, but I'm not sure they need it. They have that Pipe of Insight and Crimson Guard with the Blink Dagger on the Centaur. I could just get in there. Of course, they're not really in a rush at the moment. Like I said, they can just kind of choke them out and wait to play the game on their terms when they're up 30k net worth. So play it safe if you want.
Yeah, it's definitely a spot where Sirius have to play it a bit riskier and move out in these lanes, hoping they don't get picked off. And well, Eurus is doing exactly that, making you pay for coming over and trying to farm.
Yeah. Sirius here by himself, though. He's trying to catch some people. He doesn't know. Actually, I'm not even sure the three of them together would be able to stop him.
Yeah, he's quite farmed. Has the BKB at 9 seconds. Like, that's going to be a tough fight. And by the time the rest of the team comes to a tier 1, they still have standing in that lane. Like, he's in a proper position to hold his own.
BKB at almost 30 armor. It's not easy to bring down. Trying to establish control over the enemy team. Jungle once again. But again, you see the net worth slowly tipping in favor of VG as this progresses. You have to play so tight together on Sirius. But you need to try and leave your base or you're not going to get any farm at all.
And the farm you're getting is so split because you're so close to each other.
Yep.
Oh, Yang looking for the courier.
Yeah, I have this argument a lot with these, people that don't watch as much competitive or understand as much competitive Dota. Is you see these people farming outside the base and they die, then they lose the game. You think, well, why the hell were they out there in the first place? Well, the reason is you can lose in 20 minutes after the team has a 40k net worth advantage, or you can play a little bit risky and potentially get back into the game, and that's what Sirius is trying to do right now.
Yeah, they're forced into this spot. It's not really their own decision making. It's just the fact that they are now... Oh, man! Whew! Not quick enough on the Astral there from Ori.
Some of these players are getting a little bit older. They lose that. Lose the reflexes.
Yeah, they're young guys and they're losing their reflexes. That's why my camera work is so bad at 26. The reflexes go real quick, kids. There's the Astral that he was looking for. On the hero he wanted it on, too. Mad comes over, Blink, Hoof Stomp, Double Edge, Mad really low. Slithering Crush comes out, but that just puts Doodle in a really bad position. They'll look for the boat. The BKB is going to be popped by Doodle. They're looking to make something happen, but the Astral again, Ori getting everybody on his team out of harm's way, and if they do get close to it, PYW is there to save you.
Yeah, briefly considers chasing up the high ground, thinks better of it. But this is just how the game's going to be for a little while. They know that they can't break that high ground to the defense that they have on Sirius. So, choke them out once again.
Sniper defenses.
Yeah, brief coughing fit there. Apologies.
This is, what was it, 6.86? Typical sniper troll games.
Oh, jeez. I'm glad that patch is gone. The rubber band came back, or came in that game, and the troll and the sniper. You just see them every single game. And basically every item worked on troll as well.
Oh, Blink. With the Hoof Stomp, HYM, though, still relatively safe. They'll throw the boat for good measure. Blink Dagger now finished for Doodle. We didn't think he was actually going to get to this combo, but here we are.
They've been playing the map super well despite being so far behind. It's kind of surprising to me, actually, how well they predicted some of these VG movements. The fact that it's only 16-2 in a game that has been so one-sided shows their map awareness. Because, again, you could argue, oh, yeah, they're just sitting on top of high ground, but that's not all they've been doing. They've been taking these risks outside their base, but they've been so careful watching VG's movements and playing around their vision.
Yeah, we've seen Mad die a couple times, but other than that, the cores have been very disciplined and not find themselves in a bad spot, and they're going to smoke.
This is a bold move, and
this
I'm not
is
sure if it's the right one, but
yeah,
they might know something that I don't.
Yeah, this is a down by 25,000 move. Blink, Slither, and Crush. BKB's gonna be popping. They've got the Fiend Script to follow it up. Now, here comes the Rod of Atos. Blink, Hoof Stomp coming through. They don't get a lot of damage out on a Eurus, who starts to turn it around on a D-Stones. He tries to run away from this one with his BKB. The bow comes out from Guevara. Hits on a Yang. Eurus no longer with the BKB. Mad trying to run. There's the Sanities. That drops down and takes a lot of the mana out of the hands of Sirius. They'll take out HYM. Down goes D-Stones, losing another on Doodle. Guevara falls. 4 heroes dead, making a team wipe triple kill here for Eurus, and GG called in game 1 of a best of 2.
An extremely bold move at the end there, trying to grab that sniper, the troll warlord, but unfortunately he got that BKB off just before you got him, and the majority of your damage right now is magical, so bold move, but no cigar.
Yeah, I feel like that's a move
Extremely
that
well
just has to be made.
Extremely well played there by Sirius for a little while, being able to be so careful with their map movements, but I think they got a little bit impatient at the end there. I think, so, okay, this is the moment where we kind of get back into the game. If we can get a good kill here in the jungle, we're back in it. But Troll with the BKB was possibly the worst target they could find.
It also doesn't help how well Vici move around the map. Like, they were right on that.
Absolutely.
I mean, what really is there to be said other than Vici showing up really well, looking good in the first game back in the new season? Paparazzi, aka Eurus, putting on a show, as did Ori. 0 deaths for the two of them, and DY, look at him, 0016. Great game. I mean, that's the DY that gets you 50 points in a day of fantasy on one game.
Are you a big fantasy Dota fan?
I was writing articles. I had to be. I was putting DY in every roster.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, I understand the appeal of fantasy sports and whatnot. My dad was actually a huge fantasy hockey guy, but I don't really. Dota is such a complicated game that I feel like the metric that you value fantasy points on doesn't give you the full scope of how good a player is.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at how well DY played this game, like, fantasy points alone wouldn't tell you. It's the fact that he was assisting in just about 75% of all the kills, had 24 sentries bought, 15 obs bought. Like, his gold was spent for his team. And, I mean, he played perfectly. He literally played the perfect 5-position game. And Vici...
I mean, all of Vici did absolutely amazing that game. And I could argue that the game went exactly how they wanted it to go. They knew exactly what they needed to do at the start. They think, okay, we have the saves for our heroes. We can get on top of the sniper. We take their towers, choke them out. But in the end, Sirius made a mistake, and that's how they won. So,
yeah, that's the end of Game 1. We'll be back for Game 2 in just a moment. I'm your caster, B-Cop, joined here by Neff and Neff Sensei on Twitter, and at BCop92 on Twitter. Follow us to know when we're casting. We'll be back in just a moment. Stay right there.